Hi, everyone. Welcome to a conversation with our grant winners for June 2024. Today, we have the pleasure of chatting with Katy Sensenig Schilthuis of Mosaic Makers Collective, who's our business-specific grant winner, Kayden Hamlin of Vermont Literacy Network, who's our startup grant recipient, and Kym Estrada of San Wolves Bakeshop, who's our Amber Grant winner. As you probably heard, late last year, Women's Net decided to increase the number of monthly $10,000 grants we give to 3. The startup grant is for entrepreneurs in the idea phase of developing their business or who haven't yet hit $10,000 total in sales. The business-specific monthly grant is for a company that operates in that month's category, which was business-specific support services in June. And our Amber Grant is open to all women business owners in the U.S. and Canada. I'm Marsha Layton Turner, and I'm one of several Women's Net Advisory Board members. Katy, Kayden, and Kym, thank you all for making time to speak with me, and I'm excited to just chat with you about how your businesses got started and what you've learned so far. So let's just kind of go down the line. And Kym, if we could just start with you, could you tell everyone a little about your company and where the idea to start it came from?
Yeah, so San Wolves Bakeshop is a Filipino vegan bakery. We started as a pop-up in 2017. We in New York. We we reside in Long Beach, and we're opening up our brick and mortar in October. But the idea started because prior to starting my business, I was working a 9 to 5 job. It was in digital media. I really sucked at it. I didn't necessarily hate it, but I knew I sucked at it. I'm an introvert and it like forces you to talk to celebrities and stuff. And I'm just not that type of person. So I one day put in my 2 weeks, went to the only vegan bakery, one of 2 vegan bakeries in New York at the time. So I just asked them, can I have a job? No credentials at all. So I learned there. So I just learned on the go. And then I just started getting more into baking. And I really wanted to learn more about my culture. I'm Filipino, and so is my partner. And he went vegan when he met me. So I had been vegan for a long time. So I kind of wanted to show off that, like, oh, you can still have vegan food and we still our culture's food. So I started like experimenting with Filipino food. And that's how the idea came about.
That's awesome. I'm
Yeah,
getting
thank
hungry already.
you.
Katy, how about you? Can you tell us a little bit about where the idea came from?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have Mosaic Makers Collective, and it's long story short, born from a lot of former businesses and a need I saw in myself and in the community. So if you can see these shelves behind me, this is my stationery line. It's called Fresh Out of Ink. And I started as an artisan making stationery in around 2015, 2016. Loved it, loved being creative, loved being my own boss, but pretty quickly realized that being an entrepreneur can be isolating and difficult, and you wear all the hats and you do all the things with very little support. I started doing pop-up markets as this company in areas around Dallas, Texas, where we're located. A lot of women, like-minded women, working hard, trying to make things work, feeling lack of support. So I just knew I wanted to form a community that could really come together and support women-owned businesses and entrepreneurs, specifically in Texas. I didn't know how I would do that until one day I was delivering my cards to a storefront in the Bishop Arts District, which is a big, like, touristy neighborhood in Dallas, and there was a space for lease. So it was kind of like a light bulb moment for me, and it was like, this is how we do it. This is how we build the community. We can also profit by selling our goods. We can work together to run this shop and make it happen. So a couple days later, I signed a commercial lease, and then within 4 weeks, this was in 2018, we were up and running with 8 women in about 300 square feet. And now we're at over 100 women in 2,000 square feet and with a long wait list, and it's just exploding. And I'm so thankful. So
Awesome.
I saw a need. Thankfully, other people needed it as well.
Excellent. And Kayden, tell us a little bit about Vermont Literacy Network.
Yeah, so I started Vermont Literacy Network in January of this year. I am a full-time teacher, so kind of like the startup cost came out of, my itty bitty teacher salary. I am a literacy interventionist. That's how I started all of this, kind of getting into, the realm of the science of reading and structured literacy, which in undergrad and even in grad school is not really something that I got the opportunity to explore. So that has been the biggest driving force. Started a little facility in Stowe, hoping to, expand into a larger facility. I like to say that my facility now is tiny but mighty, all of like 100 square feet. So it is nice to have, I'm very grateful for all of this to kind of, branch out and expand. But I mean, ultimately, my goal with all of this, in this starting phase, is to develop decodable readers to be, on that march on the forefront of everything that's going on right now, with the push for the science of reading.
Excellent. I love your businesses, all three of them. They're awesome. So when you were getting started, and I know, some are very new and others have been around for a while, but were there any resources that you turned to that you found really helpful? Whether they're books or podcasts or coaches or programs or, offices, consultants. Who was that for you? And Katy, let's start with you this time.
Absolutely. So from the beginning, when I started my stationery company back here, I really dove in. I took a class called Proof to Product by Katie Hunt. She also has a podcast called Proof to Product, and she is amazing for any artisan looking to start their business with a product-based company, doing things that you make and you deliver, essentially. And then once I opened shop, I joined a group coaching mastermind called Savvy Shopkeeper by Kathy Cruz. That has also been an amazing resource for me because, like I said, my background was, creative artisan work, not necessarily all retail. And so I had a lot to learn, and she was a great resource.
Excellent. Kayden, how about you?
I mean, in a general sense, I'm a big believer if it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you're not going to ask the question, you're not going to get the answer. So I would say a lot of the resources that I get are just like calling up random business owners or like going into, like the Chamber of Commerce or town offices and just finding somebody that has the answer to the question that I have. I'm also a big podcast listener. Lately, I've been listening to Carrie Green and anything that she has. I read her book. She Means Business. A lot of it is driven on like visualization and affirmations, recognizing that, you're not an island, and that there is a community that's there to help you. So yeah.
I think that's a great lesson because there are so many communities that are out there that I think we're unaware of. And yeah, they can be super helpful. And Kym, how about you? Any particular person or place you turned to for help when you were getting started? And I know you moved, so that might be different.
Yeah, in the beginning, it was kind of more like something I do on the weekends, which is something I recommend is like keeping your job and then leaving it once you feel financially ready. I don't come from money, so that was like a big thing that I had to do. So that's one piece of advice, but a big thing that really helped me is I speak to a business advisor from the SBA, so it's like totally free of charge. And so I really take advantage of free resources provided by the state and city. Long Beach here, it's like okay with the business resources, but they don't make it publicly known. So you just have to like get in there and like go into the meetings and all of that. And then a big thing is I have a lot of friends who own businesses here in Long Beach. A lot of them are bakeries as well. And so like during this build out process, they've been helping me a lot. And just like other businesses from like hair and like cosmetology or tattooing I like literally sat down one-on-one and tried to get all the details from them on like how I could make this a success once I open my brick and mortar. And yeah, I think that, yeah, just like your communities you're involved in. And also like getting involved in lots of communities because there's a lot of communities here. Like I'm part of the Filipino community, there's motorcycle clubs, there's vegan clubs, just baking clubs, just network.
Very smart, especially when all of your businesses are very local or dependent on local support. So yeah, that's really smart. So how about marketing wise? Again, I know some of you have more experience than others, but what are some effective marketing strategies that you've found or that you're exploring now? And Kayden, why don't we start with you?
Yeah. I think in today's day and age, social media is absolutely your best friend. Using that as a tool, it can be kind of hard to get, mixed up in the wishy-washy of all of the social media business, but it is there and it can be a tool. I also in my profession and then also with the families that I'm working with, a lot of the time is just a good word. Having, a parent refer another parent and be like, oh, I loved this, or this was really successful. So keeping the reputation going amongst people within the community has been incredibly helpful.
Awesome. Kym, how about you? What have you done? I know networking sounds like it's been a really big piece, but has there been anything else that you've done that has worked?
Yeah, I don't have much of a marketing strategy. It's based on a lot of it is based on who I talk to. It's very organic. And I see since 2017, we've done pop-ups everywhere. So that has become like our little tour, and our big show is going to be the brick and mortar. So I think that doing pop-ups is a big word of mouth thing, and people just learn about it.
Love that. Katie,
Yeah.
how about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree with the word of mouth, the getting the good word out, having people recommend you. I think that's the strongest form of marketing. And then again, social media, it's a big deal these days. And when we coach our artisans at the shop, we really tell them to focus on a personal brand, which is personal and professional into one. People like faces, they like your genuine self, your authenticity. And so building yourself into that brand and making it one thing is a really good way to do it these days.
Excellent, excellent advice. Thank you all. So now, how can the Women's Net community return the favor? What can we do to show support for you that might help your business? And if you have any ideas, I'm just going to go down, starting with Kym. Anything in particular that we can help with to really boost your business?
I think come to the bakery, buy our merch online.
Oh,
Other than what you guys have already done, I can't think of anything else.
okay. Katie, anything? Reviews,
Yes,
trust,
so
blog?
We're on Yelp, on Google, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
reviews are big. They're absolutely so helpful. I would also say, coming to the shop and then just supporting local in your own community. If it's not Dallas where we are, like supporting these small businesses, supporting these women-owned businesses, and just really like sharing on social, getting the word out, talking to people about the fact that these things exist and they're incredible. So
Love
just make
that.
people aware.
Yeah. Kayden, how about you?
It is hard to say because I think the biggest support, in the economy today is what has already been given. But I think also, somebody's always going to know more than you. So maybe like referrals or any sort of like, I know this awesome. Sitting right now, I've learned a lot. So like even like I have this awesome resource where I met this amazing person, because there was something more to learn.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you three so much. Really appreciate your time. I know the Women's Net community is going to be inspired by your stories and your advice. And congratulations again on being our 3 June winners.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.